I wasn't sure if you were going to have an opening statement or not.
I'd love to give you an opening statement. You tell me what you want, and I'll do that for you.
Well, I guess if anything you learned today, especially with this being your second year, what you learned today, what did you hope to learn today, especially with the big non-conference game against Michigan when y'all open up?
I learned everything that I needed to see in terms of who we are. We talked a lot before the game about not necessarily whether we win or whether we lose. Either way, it didn't matter. I was more interested in like who are we and what's our actual identity. We talk a lot about being process oriented, and so how can we stay focused in the things that we've identified that are necessary for us to do for us to be successful. And so I wanted to see how we competed. I actually asked them, I actually said to them, I hope we get down so that we can see what we're made of. I love that we rallied. I got to see that we are tough, and some of the deficiencies that we've spoken about in practice, we have an opportunity to go back and say, okay, here's now our fourth game-like situation. We've done a couple of inter-squad scrimmages and scrimmaging other opponents, but now to be able to come back and say, okay, here's our body of work over the last four scrimmages. This is essentially just a public scrimmage, but to go back into them and say, okay, now here are the issues that we can address and the things that we can control. But in terms of being able to see how we move the basketball, that's a big emphasis of what we want to do. We'd like to have a lot of fluidity on offense. And I thought we did a good job of being intentional about getting the ball moving. It stuck a couple of times. But again, those are things that over time, the more that they play together, the less that we're going to have those the sticky situations.
Can you speak to Gail's role in how she has grown since you've known her, and how unique is she? Because she can handle the ball a little bit. She's kind of like a guard forward. This is my first time seeing her.
Yeah, I think it's not just Gales. I think in general our bigs are versatile, and so we take a lot of pride in recruiting versatile players, and Shariah is one of those players that is skilled offensively. We're proud of her as she's actually grown defensively and takes a lot of pride in that as well. And I think the second thing that stands out the most about her game is her ability to battle on the boards. But more than anything, her growth as a person off the court. She's a phenomenal student, and she's somebody that we rely on for leadership within our program to make sure that we're upholding our standards and how we want to compete every day.
And Jasmine is also pretty good on the boards. Can you speak to her? How well have you known her, and what do you expect from her this year?
Yeah, Yasmin's grown a lot. I think the area that we're challenging her the most is on the boards. She has become a more well-rounded offensive player, and so both she and Shariah spent a lot of time extending their range this summer. And I'm not sure that you're going to see the evidence of that until we get a little bit further in the season and they have a little bit more game confidence. But in terms of being able to extend the floor and both of them having the ability to attack off the bounce, they're threats in multiple ways. And I think especially playing bigs as much as we do, it's a tough matchup for most people. I think the really unique thing about us is we also have two other bigs in Elena and Avi that sub in. And both have equally diverse roles in their ability to contribute.
Yeah, Evie's a Florida Atlantic 6'5". Can you speak to how did she end up in Canisius, and how do you see her helping the team?
Well, Avi fits an immediate need for us, and you know, in my system we want to play two traditional bigs at all times. And so if you look at what we did last year, 86% of the time we had two traditional bigs on the floor. And so for us to be able to potentially play 6'4", 6'5", with a 6'2" or a 6'1", gives us a competitive advantage. And it's been fun to watch her flourish. She played in a limited role while she was at Florida Atlantic, but has bought into the skill development aspect of what we're asking her to do. And I'm pretty confident that by the time we get to December, you're going to see her impact our games in a very, very big way.
The MAAC, how compared to your roster, how you like to have two bigs, is that like is that our teams in the MAC? Do they have a lot of teams like that, or are you kind of
in the Metro or the mid? Are you going Metro or mid-MAC?
Sorry, you're Metro. Okay. Yeah, I'm a Canisius guy, so I know the difference.
Okay, yeah.
But is the two bigs on your team different? Or
it's a competitive advantage for us because, and that's not even just in the Metro. I mean, most teams have gone away from having two traditional bigs on the floor, and so we take a lot of pride in finding ways to recruit and develop bigs that are not only low block players but have the ability to stretch the floor. And so by the end of the year, we will have 4 true bigs that can score in a myriad of ways, which in our league is a competitive advantage.
How unique is it to have so many returners back, especially in this day and age? I know, I'm not sure how much that affects you because this your second year as well.
Yeah.
But how unique is that? How big of a deal is that to have so many returners back?
Well, it's a relief to be in this position this year compared to where we were last year when we returned 1% of our score. We had 2 scholarship kids when we first took over the program, and like you said, in today's age, it is unique to be able to return 9 of potentially 11 kids. But what I'm excited about is those 9 players all have game experience, and so as we were preparing for this opportunity to go out and again scrimmage in public, they're confident because they've been there, and clearly we play a lot of people and will continue to, but it speaks volumes to our ability to play with depth, and it allows us to move a little bit further, faster in terms of delving into concepts a little bit more than we were able to last year because there's more continuity now.
Can you speak to Irene's ability to, she hit quite a few jump shots today, but is there anyone else that stretches the floor like her, and how big is her jump shooting going to be?
So Irene.
Sorry.
Irene, that's okay. Irene is from Spain, and so she is able to, her name is pronounced a little bit different, so I tried as much as I can to make sure that we cover that. But Irene has worked not just this year but last year to extend her range, and if you look at what she did in the last 5 games of the season, she was 37% from 3, and has picked up where she left off. I think what's really unique about her is she has the ability to impact the game, not just from 3, but she's really good off the bounce and is a phenomenal defender. And so I think when you look at players that have the potential to do a lot of things, which I love versatile players, she fits that mold. But I could go down the line in terms of players that once we get a couple of games in, we'll have that game confidence to be able to step up and hit shots, whether it's Ari Parker, whether it's Kelsey Bess, Antonique Austin, Mary Koppel, who was 37% in league last year. She shot 19% the year before, got into the gym, worked on her game, and ended up being 37% in league. Molly Mescal, who's a local kid. All of those players have the ability to stretch the floor. It's just a matter of when those shots start falling with a little bit more time and confidence within a game.
Gotcha. I'm good, Coach.
All right.
Thank you.
Thank you.